Have you ever found yourself agreeing to something, feeling a strange sense of obligation to a person you barely know? You didn't want to help them. You didn't want to stay in the conversation. But walking away suddenly felt rude. It felt like a betrayal. This was not an accident. You were not being genuinely helpful. You were caught in a linguistic trap. A snare made of a single two-letter word. Most people think manipulation requires grand lies, elaborate gaslighting, or explosive rage. But the most sophisticated predators, those high in Machiavellian traits, do not need to raise their voice to control you. They simply change their pronouns. Welcome to the Shadow Script. Today we are analyzing one of the most insidious linguistic tactics in dark psychology, forced teaming, or, as we call it, the we trap. Chapter 1. The Evolutionary Hijack. The concept of forced teaming was famously identified by security specialist Gavin de Becker in the context of physical survival. It is the intentional and calculated use of plural pronouns, we, us, and our, to manufacture a premature sense of intimacy, shared purpose, or common fate. Imagine you are waiting for an elevator in an empty parking garage. A stranger walks up, looks at the broken digital display, and says to you, "Looks like we are going to be waiting a while." It seems harmless, friendly even, but structurally, it is a psychological breach. By using the word we, the stranger has subtly linked your fate to theirs. They have artificially constructed a team where none existed. Why is this so dangerous? Because the human brain is an evolutionary machine wired for tribal survival. For millions of years, being separated from the tribe meant death. When the brain hears the word we, it instinctively lowers its defenses. The amygdala, your brain's threat detection center, relaxes. We implies safety. We implies cooperation. A dark psychologist knows this. They know that if they ask you for a favor as a stranger, you might say no. But if they can linguistically force you onto their team, saying no feels like you are abandoning a teammate. It triggers a subconscious guilt. They hijack your innate human decency using syntax. Chapter 2. The Grammar of Evasion. Let us look at how this manifests in toxic relationships and daily arguments. The manipulator uses plural pronouns to erode the boundary between I and you. In a healthy dynamic, boundaries are clean. You have your responsibilities, and I have mine. But the we trap blurs those lines, creating a messy, enmeshed reality where accountability disappears. Listen to the subtle difference in these sentence structures. Instead of saying, "I have a problem I need to solve," a manipulator will say, "We have a situation we need to figure out." Notice the shift. The manipulator's problem has suddenly become your problem. They have grammatically drafted you into their crisis without asking for your consent. Or consider the classic manipulative apology. Instead of saying, "I treated you terribly, and I need to fix my behavior," they will say, "We really need to work on how we communicate." Analyze the syntax. By deploying the word we, they have mathematically divided the blame in half. They have structurally deleted their sole accountability and placed 50% of the burden onto your shoulders. You are no longer the victim of their action. You are a co-conspirator in a shared failure. This is not an apology. It is an evasion tactic wrapped in plural pronouns. Chapter 3. The Illusion of Consensus. Manipulators also use plural pronouns to manufacture an illusion of consensus. When they want to isolate you, they won't just attack you individually. They will say, "We all think you are being too sensitive." Or, "We were just talking about how erratic you have been lately." The "we" in this scenario is a phantom army. It is designed to make you feel outnumbered, isolated, and crazy, even if no one else actually agrees with them. They speak for a fabricated collective to crush the confidence of the individual. This tactic scales up to toxic systems and manipulative corporate cultures. Have you ever worked for a company that insists, "We are a family"? This is systemic forced teaming. In a professional environment, the relationship is transactional. You provide labor, they provide capital. But by using the language of family, saying, "We sacrifice for the team," the institution manipulates your loyalty. When the company demands unpaid overtime, complaining feels like a betrayal of the family. They use plural pronouns to extract maximum compliance, but when it is time for layoffs or accountability, the "we" dissolves, and you are suddenly an "I" again. Chapter 4. Linguistic Defiance. How do you survive a trap built out of pronouns? You must become a ruthless editor of your own reality. You must master the art of translation. When a manipulator attempts to force a team, your defense is linguistic defiance. You must actively and verbally restore the boundary between I and you. You must translate their enmeshed syntax back into objective reality. If a toxic partner says, "We really need to stop arguing so much," you do not nod in agreement. You correct the pronoun. You reply, "I am not arguing. You are shouting. You need to lower your voice." If a coworker tries to dump their assignment on you by saying, "How are we going to get this presentation done by Friday?" you reply, "I am confident you will figure it out. Let me know if you need me to look at it when you are finished." If a stranger in a dark parking lot approaches you and says, "Looks like we have a flat tire," you reply, "No, you have a flat tire. I am leaving." It feels abrasive, it feels impolite, and that is exactly why manipulators use the "we" trap. They are banking on your politeness. They are betting that your fear of social awkwardness will override your survival instincts. Do not be polite to a predator. Refuse the pronoun. To protect your mind, you must protect your vocabulary. Every time you allow a manipulator to dictate the pronouns of an interaction, you surrender a piece of your autonomy. The word "we" is a privilege earned through trust, time, and mutual respect. It is not a weapon to be wielded by strangers, toxic systems, or abusers. You are an individual. Defend your boundaries with the language you accept. This is the shadow script. We decode the dark mechanics of human behavior so you can navigate the world with open eyes. If you are ready to master the language of power and survival, subscribe now.